This has been a crazy week, Scarlett. We started it off early in the week. It looked like this was going to be a down week for equities. We had a lot going on. Of course, you had the Fed meeting in the middle of the week. We started the week with the Treasury refunding announcement, ended it with the jobs report, and there were a lot of earnings in between. But the net effect of it all was a strong two-day rally to end the week. That pushed the NASDAQ 100 composite, the NASDAQ composite up about 2% here on the day. The S&P posting about a 1% gain. And you also saw a lot of the cyclical stocks really get a strong bid here. Take a look at the two-year yield, though, 4.8 right now. And in fact, we talk about the big moves and the volatility in that space. This was the strongest week on a price basis for the two-year Treasury all week long. And of course, that means the worst week in terms of yields going down. Spot gold also had an awful day and an awful week. But let's go back to the equity market, Scarlett. I was taking a look at all the big indices out there and what outperformed on a weekly basis. Up 6%, NASDAQ Biotechs.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, Amgen, and this is the name leading the NASDAQ Biotech, was the best performer for not just the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, but also the Dow Industrials, gaining almost 12% on the day, biggest rally since 2009. And all of this after the CEO said he's very encouraged by recent or early test results from its experimental obesity drug. So as a result, we saw shares in Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk decline in the wake of Amgen's big rally. Now, on the flip side, you have Fortinet. This is the cybersecurity company, tumbling down almost 10%, biggest slide this year after the company reported a miss in first quarter billings due to weakness in Europe and also difficult year-on-year comparisons. Now, the big question here when it comes to Fortinet or any of these cybersecurity companies is how much of this is a read-through to the rest of the sector and to business spending versus this being kind of a one-off. Before today, it's worth mentioning here that Fortinet shares had gained as much as 29% since early November. Now, of course, our top story this hour is the labor market. It is showing signs of weakening. The U.S. economy added 175,000 jobs. That is the smallest increase in about half a year. While investors did read that as good news for both stocks and bonds, it is worrisome for job hunters. We're going to take a deep dive into how that's playing out for one restaurant company across different cities and also explore how employers are increasingly turning to AI to now screen applicants.